Hey warriors, you're standing at the edge of your old life and you can feel it breaking apart beneath your feet. Maybe it cracked slowly, one small disappointment at a time, until the weight became too heavy. Or maybe it collapsed in a single moment, like lightning striking a tree and leaving it split open. Either way, something inside you finally said, enough. Enough pretending. Enough carrying what hurts. Enough acting like everything is fine when your heart knows it isn't. Starting over doesn't mean wiping out your past. It means rising from it. It means becoming the person you were always capable of being. And that takes more than hope. It takes direction. Lao Tzu once said, "New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings." And that's the truth most people avoid. A new start rarely feels exciting at first. It feels raw. It feels messy. It feels like standing in the ruins of everything familiar and wondering whether you're strong enough to rebuild. But you are. That restlessness inside you, that quiet voice whispering that life can't stay the same, that isn't weakness. That's your inner self refusing to settle for a life that's too small for your spirit. And the fact that you're here, watching this, searching for answers, means you're ready. You're ready to turn that discomfort into direction. You're ready to turn that pain into power. You do not need permission to change your life. You do not need the perfect moment. You just need a roadmap and the courage to take one step, then another, then the next. Because real transformation isn't a single event. It's a series of small, powerful choices that completely rewrite your story. Before we begin, hit the like button. Share this with someone who needs strength today. Subscribe and join this community, this tribe of people who refuse to settle for an average life. If you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, type this in the comments. I am ready to begin again. Number 1. Let go of the emotional stress you don't need anymore. You're tired, and not the kind of tired a good night's sleep can fix. You wake up tired, you go to bed tired, and in between, you carry a weight no one else can see. Guilt that was never your fault. Shame someone else placed on you. Old anger that you've been dragging behind you like a rusted chain. You've held on to this pain for so long that it feels familiar, almost like it's part of your personality now. But it isn't. It never was. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And here's the truth. Most of the stress that's draining you today isn't happening today. It's the memory of old wounds replaying in your mind as if they're still real. That argument you keep revisiting at 2 a.m., it's over. That person who hurt you, they're not here. That mistake you made, it's already part of the past. But you're still reliving it, like a movie on repeat, hoping the ending will change. It won't, and it's not your job to rewrite what already happened. Letting go doesn't mean the pain was okay. It doesn't mean you're ignoring it. It means you're refusing to let the past dictate your future. It means asking yourself one powerful question: is carrying this helping me grow, or is it draining the life out of me? There's a difference between processing pain and living in it. Processing is healthy. You feel it, you learn from it, and you let it pass. But living in your pain, that's when you let your wounds define who you are. You become the one who was betrayed, the one whose parents hurt them, the one who failed. And everything you do becomes filtered through that identity. But listen, you are not a monument to your pain. You are proof that people can walk through fire and still rise again. Think about what you're carrying right now. The grudges, the old betrayals, the imaginary conversations with people who aren't even part of your life anymore. Every time you replay those moments, you give them new power. And every time you give them power, you lose energy that could be used to build your new life. So, try this. Pick one thing, just one. One piece of emotional baggage you keep dragging around. It could be anger, it could be shame, it could be fear from something that happened once but keeps repeating in your mind. Decide today that you're done carrying it. You don't need a ceremony, you don't need anyone's approval. Just say it. I'm letting this go. It doesn't own me anymore. You might need to repeat it tomorrow and the day after that. Healing isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's slow, like winter turning into spring. You don't notice it every day, but suddenly everything looks brighter. Every time you release something, you create space. Space to breathe, space to dream, space to grow into a person who isn't weighed down by yesterday. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop feeding your pain, your energy comes back. Energy for joy, energy for your goals, energy for the life you want to build. Letting go isn't weakness, it's courage. Anyone can hold a grudge, but it takes a warrior to put it down. Number 2, make one honest choice that moves your life forward. You know what's wild? You'd rather stay stuck in pain you know than risk pain you don't. It's like living in a house that's falling apart, because at least you know which floorboards creak, which doors stick, where the roof leaks. Moving feels too scary, so you just keep patching the same holes, pretending it's not slowly falling down around you. That's where most people live their entire lives, in familiar misery, and they call it safety. But one honest choice, just one, can crack that whole thing wide open. I'm not talking about burning your life down. I'm not saying you need to quit everything, move to another country, or make some dramatic transformation. I'm talking about one decision, one real, honest-to-God choice that comes from truth instead of fear. The philosopher Soren Kierkegaard said, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are," and that hits different when you really sit with it. Most people aren't living, they're performing, playing a role, following a script someone else wrote. And deep down they know it. They can feel themselves disappearing a little more each day. You know what you need to do. There's something sitting in the back of your mind right now, whispering to you when you're alone. A choice you've been avoiding. A conversation you need to have. A boundary you need to set. A risk you need to take. Something you've been pushing off with excuses that sound reasonable but feel like lies. Maybe it's saying no to someone who keeps taking from you. Maybe it's finally signing up for that thing you've been thinking about for 2 years. Maybe it's sending a message you're scared to send. Maybe it's just admitting out loud that you're not happy and something needs to change. The choice doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be true. Because when you make a decision that actually aligns with who you are, not who you think you should be, not who your parents wanted you to be, not who would make everyone else comfortable, something inside you wakes up. You remember you're not just a passenger in your own life. You remember you have power, agency, a voice. You've been waiting for the right time, for things to calm down, for more money, for more confidence, for someone to give you permission, for the fear to go away, for the path to be clear. None of that is coming. The right time doesn't exist. You don't get confident before you act. You get confident by acting. And the fear? It'll still be there. The difference is whether you let it make your decisions for you. Waiting for certainty is just a sophisticated way of staying stuck. So, make the choice today. Not when you feel ready. Not when it's convenient. Not when everyone agrees. Today. Because readiness isn't something you find, it's something you create by doing the thing you're afraid to do. And watch what happens. One honest choice creates momentum. It opens doors you didn't know were there. It proves to you that you're stronger than you thought. It reminds you that your life can actually change, because you're the one with the power to change it. Your new life isn't on the other side of 10 perfect decisions. It's on the other side of one honest one. Stop waiting. If you're ready to stop hiding and start choosing, say it. I choose my truth today. Number 3. Release the old life you thought you had to follow. You've been living someone else's life, and you didn't even realize it until recently. There's this blueprint that got handed to you when you were too young to question it. Study hard, get good grades, pick a safe career, find someone, settle down, buy the house, climb the ladder, don't make waves, don't take risks, don't disappoint anyone. And maybe you did it all. Maybe you followed every rule, checked every box, made everyone proud. But then one day, you woke up and looked around at this life you built and thought, wait, is this really what I wanted? Or is this just what I thought I was supposed to want? That question changes everything. James Baldwin wrote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." And the hardest truth to face is this: the life you've been working so hard to build might not actually be yours. It might be your parents' dream, your culture's expectations, your fear of judgment dressed up as ambition. This isn't about blame. The people who gave you that blueprint, they meant well. They handed you the best map they had, drawn from their own experiences, their own limitations, their own fears. But you're not them. Your path doesn't have to look like theirs. Your definition of success doesn't have to match what worked for someone else a generation ago. Releasing the old life doesn't mean blowing everything up. It means finally giving yourself permission to question it, to look at each piece of your life and ask honestly, did I choose this? Or did it just get chosen for me? Maybe you were told success means a certain salary, a certain title, a certain zip code. Maybe you were told happiness comes from marriage and kids by a certain age. Maybe you were told your worth depends on how impressive you look on paper. But who decided that? And why are you still letting their rules run your life? You can redefine all of it. Success, happiness, purpose. What a good life actually looks like. You get to decide what matters to you, even if it's completely different from what matters to everyone around you. You can walk away from the path you thought was mandatory and build something that actually fits who you are. And yes, people will have opinions. They'll ask uncomfortable questions. Some will be disappointed. Some might even make you feel guilty for changing the plan. But their disappointment is about their expectations, not your value as a person. You cannot live a half-life just to keep other people comfortable. Think about the version of yourself you've been hiding, the dreams you've dismissed as unrealistic, the interests you've kept quiet because they don't fit the script. The life you actually want, but haven't let yourself imagine because it seems too different, too risky, too weird. What if you gave that version of yourself permission to exist? What if you stopped performing the life you think you should have and started building the one you actually want? The old life isn't necessarily wrong. It's just not yours anymore. Maybe it never was. And there's something incredibly freeing about finally admitting that. About letting go of who you thought you had to be so you can become who you actually are. You don't need anyone's permission for that. You just need the guts to choose yourself. Number 4. Build your new life with small daily actions. You want the transformation to be instant. You want to wake up tomorrow and have everything figured out. The clarity, the confidence, the completely rebuilt life. But that's not how renewal works. That's not how anything real works. Confucius observed, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." And this is the truth that will either frustrate you or free you. Your new life is built one small stone at a time. Every single day, you make choices. What you eat, how you speak to yourself, Whether you move your body or stay still, whether you read something meaningful or scroll mindlessly, whether you go to bed with intention or collapse from exhaustion, these aren't just choices, they're votes. Votes for the person you're becoming. And here's what most people miss: the small actions compound. That 15-minute walk you take today doesn't transform your health immediately. But 15 minutes every day for a year, that's 91 hours of movement. That's a completely different body, a completely different mind. The problem is, we've been conditioned to value only the dramatic, the big gestures, the radical changes. But sustainability isn't found in intensity. It's found in consistency. It's found in showing up when you don't feel like it, when no one's watching, when there's no immediate reward. Think about what you want your new life to look like. Really think about it. Now work backward. What daily action would create that reality? If you want to be a writer, the daily action is writing. Not thinking about writing, not planning to write, actually putting words on the page. If you want peace, the daily action might be 10 minutes of silence. If you want strength, it's showing up to move your body. The actions don't have to be big, they just have to be consistent. Because transformation isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Are you moving toward the life you want, or are you standing still while wishing things were different? Here's your assignment. Choose one daily action. Just one. Something so small that you can't fail at it. Maybe it's making your bed every morning. Maybe it's drinking water before coffee. Maybe it's writing 3 sentences. The specific action matters less than the commitment to do it every single day. Because when you prove to yourself that you can keep one promise, you start to trust yourself again. And when you trust yourself, you can keep bigger promises, build bigger dreams, create a bigger life. Your new life isn't built in a day, it's built in this day, and then the next one, and the one after that. Small stones, every single day. If you're committed to this journey, say it. I build my new life daily. Number 5, stop going back to people or habits that hurt you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That person you keep texting even though they've shown you repeatedly who they are. That habit you swore you'd quit, but you keep finding yourself back in. That situation you know is toxic, but somehow you convince yourself it'll be different this time. It won't be different. Not because change is impossible, but because you're expecting them to change while you keep showing up the same way. The psychologist Dr. Phil McGraw famously said, "We teach people how to treat us." And every time you go back to something that hurts you, you're teaching it that your boundaries don't matter. You're teaching it that your pain has a price, and you're willing to pay it. This isn't about judging yourself. You went back because you're human, because you're hopeful, because some part of you believed that your love, your patience, your loyalty could transform the situation. But here's the hard truth. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. Think about the pattern. You leave, you feel strong, you feel clear. Then time passes. The pain fades, the memory softens, and you start to remember only the good parts. You forget why you left. You convince yourself you overreacted, and you go back, only to remember, painfully, exactly why you left in the first place. This cycle will continue until you decide it won't, until you choose your peace over your attachment, until you value your future more than your comfort with the familiar. And yes, walking away is hard, especially when you have history, when you've invested time, energy, emotion. But you know what's harder? Spending another year, another 5 years, another decade in something that depletes you, that makes you smaller, that keeps you from the life you're meant to be living. You don't need closure from them. You don't need them to understand why you're leaving. You don't need permission. You need to give yourself what they never could: respect, consistency, safety, Love that doesn't come with conditions and confusion. So here's what you do. You stop answering. You delete the number. You remove the temptation. You make it hard to go back. Because in your weak moments, and you will have weak moments, you need systems in place that protect you from yourself. And then you grieve. You let yourself feel the loss. Because even toxic situations can feel like home when you've been in them long enough. But feeling the loss doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It means you're human. Your new life requires you to close doors. All the way. No cracks. No maybe one more time. Closed. Number 6. Accept what you can't change and focus on what you can. There's a weight you've been carrying that was never meant to be lifted. You've been trying to change things that are completely outside your control. Other people's opinions, the past, what already happened, what someone else chose to do. And every ounce of energy you pour into those unchangeable things is energy stolen from your actual life. The Stoics gave us the most powerful framework for this. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire while maintaining inner peace, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He understood something most people spend their entire lives resisting. The only thing you truly control is how you respond. You can't control whether someone loves you back, but you can control whether you continue to offer your heart to someone who doesn't value it. You can't control what happened to you as a child, but you can control whether you let that history write your future. You can't control the economy, the weather, or how fast time moves, but you can control what you do with the time you have. Most of your suffering comes from fighting reality, from insisting that things should be different than they are, from replaying scenarios in your mind, trying to change outcomes that are already written. But reality doesn't negotiate. It simply is, and your resistance to it doesn't change it. It only exhausts you. So, here's the practice. When something happens, ask yourself one question. Can I change this? If the answer is yes, then stop worrying and start doing. Make a plan, take action, move forward. If the answer is no, then your only job is acceptance, not approval, not agreement, just acceptance of what is. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you become strategic. You stop wasting your precious life force on battles you cannot win and redirect it toward the battles you can. You stop trying to control other people and start mastering yourself. You stop arguing with circumstances and start adapting to them. Think about where you're hemorrhaging energy right now. Is it in trying to make someone understand you? Is it in wishing your past was different? Is it in stressing about things that haven't even happened yet? Notice where you're pouring yourself out with no return. Now imagine taking all that energy and investing it in what you can control. Your daily habits, your reactions, your boundaries, your growth, your choices. Imagine what you could build if you stopped fighting the unchangeable and started creating with what's actually in your hands. That's where your power lives. Not in controlling everything, but in mastering the one thing that's truly yours, yourself. If this principle speaks to you, claim it. I control what I can. Number 7. Start a calm morning routine that helps you feel steady. The way you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day, and most people are starting from chaos. They're jolting awake to alarms that sound like emergency sirens, immediately grabbing their phones, flooding their minds with other people's problems, opinions, and emergencies before they've even had a conscious thought of their own. You're giving away the most sacred hours of your day before you've even claimed them for yourself. And then you wonder why you feel reactive, overwhelmed, like your life is running you instead of the other way around. The Dalai Lama once shared a simple truth. Every day, think as you wake up. Today, I am fortunate to be alive. I have a precious human life. I am not going to waste it. This isn't just spiritual wisdom. It's practical strategy. It's the recognition that how you begin shapes everything that follows. A calm morning routine isn't about perfection. It's not about waking up at 4 in the morning or following some influencer's 10-step ritual. It's about creating a buffer between sleep and chaos, a space where you can remember who you are before the world tells you who you need to be. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 30, maybe it's just 5 minutes of sitting in silence with your coffee before you check your phone. The length doesn't matter as much as the intention. You're telling yourself, I matter. My peace matters. My day doesn't start with everyone else's agenda. Here's what this might look like. You wake up. You don't reach for your phone. You take 3 deep breaths. You feel your body. You say something kind to yourself. You move a little, stretch, walk, whatever feels right. You drink water. You spend a few minutes with something that feeds your soul, reading, writing, sitting in silence, looking out the window. You're not doing this to be productive. You're doing this to be present, to ground yourself, to create a foundation of calm that can hold you steady when the day gets hard. Because it will get hard. People will make demands, problems will arise, stress will come. But when you've started your day from a place of intention instead of reaction, you have something to come back to. You have an anchor. The world will always try to pull you in 1,000 directions. Your morning routine is where you plant your feet and say, before I give myself to everything else, I give myself to me. That's not selfish, that's survival. That's how you maintain your center in a world that constantly tries to knock you off balance. Start tomorrow, one small ritual, one conscious beginning. Watch how it changes everything. If you're committed to starting your mornings right, own it. I start each day with intention. Number 8. Choose supportive people who respect your new path. You're trying to grow, and the people around you are watering the old version of you. They keep bringing up who you used to be. They make jokes about your new habits. They question your changes. They pull you back toward the person you're working so hard to move beyond. This isn't always malicious. Sometimes people resist your growth because it forces them to look at their own stagnation. Your evolution holds up a mirror to their comfort zone, and instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. The motivational speaker Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." And whether you realize it or not, you're absorbing the energy, the mindset, the habits of the people closest to you. If you're surrounding yourself with people who doubt you, drain you, or dismiss you, you're making transformation exponentially harder. Your new path requires new support, or at least it requires people who can celebrate your changes instead of sabotaging them. People who don't need you to stay small so they can feel comfortable. People who see your growth and say, keep going, not, who do you think you are? This doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life, but it does mean you need to be honest about who gets access to you, who gets your energy, your time, your vulnerable moments. Some people have earned the right to be in your inner circle. Others have proven they can't handle it. And here's the part that hurts. Sometimes the people who can't support your new path are people you love. Family, old friends, people who've been there for years. But longevity doesn't equal compatibility. Just because someone was right for one chapter doesn't mean they're right for this one. You can love people from a distance. You can honor what they meant to you without letting them derail what you're becoming. You can set boundaries that protect your peace without explaining yourself to death. You don't owe anyone access to a version of yourself that no longer exists. So, look around. Who's cheering for you? Who's asking you about your progress? Who respects your boundaries without making you feel guilty? Those are your people. Invest there. Spend your time there. Let those relationships deepen. And if your circle is small right now, that's okay. Quality over quantity. Always. One person who truly supports you is worth more than 100 people who only tolerate you. You're not losing people by choosing yourself. You're making space for the ones who actually belong in your new life. Protect your path. Guard your energy. Choose your people wisely. If you're choosing your circle wisely, commit to it. I choose supportive people. Number 9. Allow slow progress. It still counts. You're measuring yourself against people who are 10 years ahead of you, against highlight reels, against curated versions of success that took decades to build but look effortless on screen. And you're convinced that because you're not there yet, you're failing. But you're not failing. You're just not finished. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. The Japanese have a concept called kaizen, continuous improvement. Small, incremental changes that compound over time. It's the philosophy that built some of the world's most successful companies. And it's the same philosophy that will build your new life. Not overnight, not in dramatic bursts, but slowly, steadily, surely. Progress doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like rest, like choosing not to react, like setting a boundary, like getting back up after you fell, like doing the same boring thing for the 100th time because you know it matters. None of this is glamorous, none of this gets applause, but all of it counts. You've been conditioned to believe that only big wins matter, the promotion, the transformation photos, the before and after. But real life happens in the middle, in the messy, unfiltered, unglamorous middle, where you're just showing up day after day, doing the work even when you can't see the results yet. Think about a seed planted in soil. For weeks, maybe months, nothing visible happens. No leaves, no stem, no flower. Just darkness and waiting. But beneath the surface, everything is happening. Roots are forming, strength is building, the foundation is being laid, and then one day you see a sprout. Not because the work just started, but because the work finally became visible. That's where you are right now, in the invisible work, in the part where it feels like nothing is changing. But everything is changing. You're changing. Your habits are changing. Your mindset is changing. Your capacity is changing. You just can't see it all yet. So, stop punishing yourself for not being further along. Stop comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop dismissing your progress because it doesn't look like what you see on social media. Your journey is yours. Your pace is yours. Your timeline is yours. Slow progress is still progress. The person who loses 1 pound a week for a year is transformed. The person who writes 1 page a day has a book. The person who saves $10 a week has built security. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. It's about refusing to quit just because the results aren't instant. You're further than you were yesterday. That's enough. Keep going. If you're embracing your pace, commit to it. My progress is still progress. Number 10. Do things today your future self will be proud of. Every choice you make right now is a gift to the person you're becoming, or it's a burden. You get to decide which one you're sending forward. Your future self is watching, hoping you'll make the choice that honors them, hoping you'll think beyond this moment and consider the life they're trying to live. Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." He understood that your future isn't some distant destination. It's being built right now, in this hour, in this decision, in what you choose to do when no one's looking and there's no immediate consequence. Most people live in a strange disconnect. They want a healthy body, but they keep choosing things that harm it. They want financial freedom, but they keep spending money they don't have. They want peace, but they keep engaging in chaos. They're constantly choosing present comfort over future benefit. And then they wonder why their life never changes. But you're different. You're reading this because some part of you knows there's another way. A way where your choices align with your vision. Where what you do today actually matches who you want to become tomorrow. So, here's the question you need to ask yourself before every decision. Will my future self thank me for this? Not in a rigid, punishing way, but in an honest, loving way. Will the version of you 6 months from now be grateful that you went to bed early tonight, that you had the hard conversation, that you invested in yourself, that you said no to what was easy and yes to what was important? This doesn't mean you can never rest or enjoy yourself. It means you stop betraying your own future for temporary relief. You stop trading long-term joy for short-term comfort. You stop making choices from your lowest self and start making them from your highest vision. Think about one decision you need to make today. Maybe it's whether to exercise or skip it, whether to save money or spend it, whether to do the work or procrastinate, whether to speak up or stay silent. Whatever it is, pause. Connect with your future self, the one who's living the life you're trying to create. What would they want you to do right now? That's your answer. And when you act on it, you're not just making a good choice, you're building trust with yourself. You're proving that you can be counted on, that your commitments to yourself actually mean something. Your future is being written in the choices you make today. Make sure you're writing a story worth living. Number 11. See discomfort as a sign that you're growing. You're uncomfortable and you think something's wrong. You think discomfort means you made a mistake, that you should go back, that this new path isn't for you. But what if discomfort is exactly where you're supposed to be? What if it's not a stop sign, but a signal that you're finally moving? Growth and comfort cannot coexist. They're opposites. Comfort is the space where everything is familiar, predictable, safe. Growth is the edge where you don't know what happens next, where your old strategies don't work anymore, where you have to become someone new to handle what's in front of you. The psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades researching what she calls the growth mindset, the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Her research showed that people who see challenges as opportunities rather than threats are the ones who achieve the most. They've learned to reframe discomfort. Instead of, "This is hard, I should quit," they think, "This is hard, I must be learning." That's the shift you need to make. When you feel that resistance, that awkwardness, that voice saying, "I don't know if I can do this," that's not failure. That's the exact feeling of your comfort zone expanding. That's your brain rewiring. That's you becoming more than you were yesterday. Think about everything meaningful you've ever learned. Learning to walk, to read, to drive, to love someone, to do your job. None of it felt natural at first. All of it required you to be uncomfortable, to be bad at something before you could be good at it, to stumble before you could stride. But somewhere along the way, you forgot this. You started expecting transformation to feel easy. You started thinking that if it's hard, you're doing it wrong. But the opposite is true. If it feels hard, you're probably doing it right. This new life you're building will ask you to do things you've never done, to have conversations that make your heart race, to set boundaries that feel terrifying, to walk away from what's familiar, to try things when you don't feel ready. All of this will be uncomfortable. That's not a bug. That's the feature. So, the next time you feel that discomfort rising, don't run from it. Don't interpret it as a sign to retreat. Breathe into it. Recognize it. Say to yourself, This feeling means I'm growing. This feeling means I'm exactly where I need to be, because comfort is where dreams go to die. Discomfort is where they come alive. Number 12. Spend time alone without trying to escape your feelings. You're afraid of silence, afraid of what you might hear if you stop filling every moment with noise, distraction, entertainment. So, you keep the TV on, the music playing, the phone scrolling, anything to avoid being alone with your own thoughts, anything to avoid feeling what you're actually feeling. But here's what you need to understand. You cannot heal what you won't feel. You cannot process what you keep avoiding. And every time you run from yourself, you're teaching yourself that your own company isn't safe, that your feelings are too much, that you need to be escaped from. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote in his letters, "The only journey is the one within." He understood that all the external searching, all the distractions, all the noise, none of it will give you what you can only find in stillness, in the quiet moments when it's just you and the truth of what you're carrying. This isn't about meditation or spirituality, though those can help. This is about basic emotional honesty, about sitting with yourself and asking, what am I really feeling right now? What am I afraid of? What am I grieving? What am I hoping for? And then staying there, not fixing it, not explaining it away, just being with it. Most of your anxiety comes from unfelt feelings, emotions you pushed down because you didn't have time or space or permission to feel them. So they sit in your body, in your chest, in your throat, in your stomach, creating tension, creating reactivity, creating a constant sense that something's wrong, but you can't quite name what. Spending time alone without distraction is how you release this. Not all at once, not dramatically, but gradually. You create space for your feelings to surface. And when they do, you don't judge them. You don't shame them. You just acknowledge them. I see you. I feel you. You're allowed to be here. Here's your practice. Every day, give yourself 15 minutes of pure solitude. No phone, no music, no book, just you, sitting quietly, paying attention to what's happening inside. Some days it will feel peaceful. Other days sadness will come, or anger, or fear, or memories you've been avoiding. Let them come. They're not here to destroy you. They're here to be acknowledged so they can finally move through you. This is how you become someone you don't need to escape from. This is how you build a relationship with yourself that's based on honesty instead of avoidance. This is how you create the internal stability that no external circumstance can shake. You are not too much. Your feelings are not too much. They're just asking to be felt. Give them that space. If you're learning to sit with yourself, say it. I am safe in my own presence. Number 13. Use daily discipline to rebuild trust in yourself. You don't trust yourself anymore. And you know why? It's because you've broken too many promises to yourself. You said you'd start and you didn't. You said you'd stop and you couldn't. You set boundaries and then let people cross them. You made plans and then abandoned them the moment they got hard. Every time you don't follow through, you're sending yourself a message. I can't count on me. My word doesn't mean anything. I'm not reliable. And when you don't trust yourself, you become paralyzed. You stop making commitments because you assume you'll break them anyway. You stay stuck because forward movement requires trusting that you'll show up for yourself. The philosopher William James, often called the father of American psychology, said, "All our life is but a mass of habits." And he was right. Your life isn't shaped by your intentions or your wishes. It's shaped by what you actually do, repeatedly, every single day. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about promise-keeping. It's about proving to yourself that when you say you'll do something, you mean it. Start small, ridiculously small, so small that you have no excuse not to do it. If you want to rebuild trust with yourself, don't commit to running 5 miles. Commit to putting on your shoes. Don't commit to writing a book. Commit to writing 1 sentence. The goal isn't the achievement. The goal is the follow-through. Because here's what happens when you keep small promises to yourself. You start to believe in yourself again. You start to see yourself as someone who does what they say they'll do. And that identity shift changes everything. You stop being the person who talks about change and become the person who creates it. Think about one area where you've lost trust in yourself. Maybe it's your health, your finances, your relationships, your work. Whatever it is, identify one tiny action you can take every day. Just one. And then do it. No matter what. Even on the days you don't feel like it. Especially on those days. This isn't about perfection. You'll miss days. You'll mess up. That's not failure. That's being human. What matters is what you do next. Do you use the slip-up as evidence that you can't change? Or do you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep the promise again the next day? Discipline is love. It's loving yourself enough to do what's best for you, even when it's hard. It's treating your future self with the respect they deserve. It's building a life where your word to yourself is sacred. You can trust yourself again, but you have to earn it. One kept promise at a time. If you're rebuilding trust with yourself, say it. I keep my promises to myself. Number 14. Use your pain to grow stronger, not weaker. Pain visited you. Maybe it stayed longer than it should have. Maybe it changed you in ways you didn't ask for. And now you're standing at a crossroads. You can let that pain define you, diminish you, keep you locked in the story of what hurt you. Or you can let it refine you, strengthen you, become the foundation of your resilience. Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, wrote words that have echoed through generations. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. But he wasn't saying pain automatically makes you stronger. He was saying you have a choice in what your pain creates. It can break you down or build you up. The pain itself is neutral. Your response to it is everything. Look at what happened to you. Really look at it, not to relive it, but to understand it. What did it teach you about yourself, about what you can survive, about what you won't tolerate anymore? Every wound carries a lesson. Every betrayal reveals a boundary you needed to set. Every loss shows you what truly mattered. The people who grow weaker from pain are the ones who let it consume their identity, who become walking monuments to their suffering, who tell the story over and over until it's the only story they know how to tell. They're not healing, they're rehearsing. They're keeping the wound fresh because it's become familiar. But you don't have to do that. You can acknowledge what happened without letting it own you. You can say, yes, that hurt. Yes, it changed me. And I'm using that change to become someone who can't be broken the same way twice. Think about the strength you didn't know you had until you needed it. The resilience that emerged when everything fell apart. The clarity that came after the confusion. The boundaries you finally set. The toxic patterns you finally broke. None of that came from comfort. All of it came from pain that you refused to let destroy you. This doesn't mean you need to be grateful for what hurt you. You don't need to thank your trauma, but you can recognize that despite it, maybe even because of it, you're becoming someone more whole, more aware, more protected, more powerful. Your pain tried to weaken you. It tried to make you bitter, closed off, afraid. But you're choosing differently. You're taking every ounce of that hurt and transmuting it into wisdom, into strength, into a version of yourself that's harder to break because you've already been broken and you know how to rebuild. That's not just survival, that's transformation. And it's the most powerful thing you can do with pain. Number 15. Keep a clear vision of the better life you're creating. You can't build what you can't see. If your vision of the future is blurry, vague, or non-existent, then every day becomes a guess. Every decision becomes random. You're just reacting to whatever comes instead of creating something intentional. And years pass. And you look up one day, wondering why you're still in the same place. The author and leadership expert Stephen Covey taught, "Begin with the end in mind." It's the second habit in his famous framework, and it's second for a reason. Before you can take effective action, you need to know where you're going. You need a vision that's so clear, so specific, so real to you that it pulls you forward even when the path gets hard. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending everything's perfect. This is about clarity, about knowing deeply what you're working toward. Not just, "I want to be happy" or "I want things to be better," but specifically, what does your day look like? How do you feel when you wake up? What kind of people are around you? What work are you doing? What habits have you built? What peace have you created? Write it down. Not once, but repeatedly. Read it every morning. Let it become so familiar that your subconscious mind starts working on it, even when you're not actively thinking about it. Because your brain is a goal-seeking machine. When you give it a clear target, it starts finding ways to hit it. But here's the thing about vision. Life will try to blur it. Setbacks will make you doubt it. Other people will question it. Your own fear will whisper that it's impossible. That's when you need your vision most. That's when you need to come back to it and remember why you started, what you're building, who you're becoming. Your vision isn't a fantasy, it's a blueprint. And every day, you're either building toward it or building away from it. Every choice is either bringing that future closer or pushing it further away. There's no neutral. You're always moving in one direction or the other. So keep your vision close. Protect it. Refine it as you grow. Let it guide you when you're lost. Let it motivate you when you're tired. Let it remind you that this struggle, this discomfort, this daily work, it's all for something. For the life you're creating. For the person you're becoming. You're not wandering anymore. You have direction. You have purpose. You have a vision. Now, all you need to do is keep walking toward it. One day at a time, one choice at a time, until the vision becomes your reality. You made it to the end. That means something. It means you're serious about this. You're not just looking for quick motivation that fades by tomorrow. You're looking for real change, real transformation, a real new start. And here's what I need you to understand. Everything you need is already inside you. These 15 principles aren't giving you something you don't have. They're reminding you of what you've always had. The strength, the resilience, the capacity to rebuild, to begin again, to create a life that honors who you truly are. Starting over isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. But you're not everyone. You're someone who looked at their life and said, "This isn't it. There's more, and I'm going after it." That takes courage. That takes honesty. That takes a kind of strength most people never access. The road ahead won't be smooth. There will be days when you want to quit, when the old patterns call to you, when doubt creeps in, when progress feels impossible. But on those days, come back to these principles. Come back to what you know is true. Come back to the vision of who you're becoming. You're not the same person you were when you started this video. Something shifted. Something clicked. You saw yourself differently, and that shift, no matter how small it feels right now, is the beginning of everything. So go. Take your first step. Make your first choice. Release your first burden. Build your first new habit. And then do it again tomorrow and the day after that. Because your new life isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to begin. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Drop a comment below and tell me which principle hit you the hardest. And subscribe to this channel because we're building something powerful here. A community of people who refuse to settle, who choose growth over comfort, who are committed to becoming the best version of themselves. Your new start begins now.